A good task is constructed by considering the principle of language assessment. So what are they? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, how are you? It's very nice to see you again in this subject of lesson plan and material development. I hope everyone is healthy and ready to learn about our new topic today. It is developing language assessment. Okay, you know, as a teacher, it's very crucial for us to measure our students' understanding related to the materials that we have already delivered in the classroom, right? So that's why we have to conduct assessment to check their understanding, whether they have already understood or not related to the material itself. So the next question is, what is assessment? Well, assessment is one component of teaching and learning activities. So at the end of the delivery of materials, we have to conduct assessment because this is part of teaching and learning activities. By doing assessment, as a teacher, we can hopefully gain information about every aspect of our students, especially their achievement or their understanding. One important aspect that plays a very crucial role, in assessment is task, right? A good task is constructed by considering the principle of language assessment. So what are they? There are four principles. The first one is practicality, right? And then the second one is validity. The third one, reliability, and the last one is authenticity. Now, let's discuss one by one. Let's start with practicality. So, practicality can be simply defined as the relationship between available resources for the task, such as human resources, material resources, time, cost, and also the resources will be required in the design or the development and the use of the test itself. According to Brown, he defines practicality in terms of four aspects. The first one, it depends on the cost, time, administration, and the last one is scoring or evaluation. So how could we consider the cost as one of the practicality aspect? Well, let's discuss why cost is one of the aspects of the practicality. Well, when you are going to conduct such a language assessment, it's very important for you to consider cost as one of the factors that influence your development, because the test should not be too expensive to conduct. Okay, and the cost for the task has to stay within the budget. So you have to consider your budget itself and avoid conducting a task that requires excessive budget. Can you imagine? I have example, like you're going to conduct a reading task for your students, and then you require your student to collect some money, like 100,000 rupees. Do you think it is practical in the term of cost? Well, absolute answer is not practical at all, because it makes yourself difficult and also your students too, right? So remember, when you develop or you are going to conduct such a language assessment, put on cost as your consideration. Now, the second aspect in the term of practicality, it is about the time. You have to imagine how long do the students spend for answering your question or your task? So the task should stay within appropriate time constraint, okay? And the task should not be too long or too short. So you have to make a very good time management for the students to answer or to complete all the question. Well, the other example. What do you think if a teacher wants to conduct a task, a task of language proficiency that will take a student 10 hours to complete it? Can you imagine that? Is that practical in terms of time? Of course, it's not. It's too long for them. They will be too tired to answer. They couldn't concentrate to fulfill all the question, right? Or if you, have 50 questions in the form of multiple choice for reading comprehension test, and you only provide your students with 20 minutes. Well, it's too short for them, right? Because they need more time to find out the idea or to collect some detailed information to answer the question. So that's why you have to consider time for developing your language assessment. Then the third aspect in terms of practicality is administration. So the task should not be too complicated or complex to conduct, right? And also the task should be quite simple to administer. Well, administration sometimes is a complicated term for us to conduct such a task. So that's why try to find out a very simple way. Okay? Can you imagine if a teacher in a remote area or in a village, who his or her student know nothing about computer, know nothing about technology, and you want to conduct such a task by using that kind of technology, and they have to at least know how to interact with the computer, right? In order to be able to complete the task. Don't you think it is very complicated administration? So put in your mind about the administration of the task. It is not practical to be implemented in the village or remote area. Now, the last aspect in terms of practicality is about scoring or evaluation. Now, if you are trying to score the result of your students' test, the scoring or evaluation process should fit into the time allocation. Okay, a task should be accompanied with a scoring rubric or key answers, and so on, to make it easy for you to score or to evaluate. So you have the guideline for scoring your answer, your students' answer. For example, you ask your students to make a paragraph writing, right? Of course, you have to score starting from the topic sentence, the supporting idea or the supporting sentences, and then the last one is closing sentence, right? So from your students' composition, you need a rubric to make you more easily to measure, to score. Like you will have such a range starting from 0 until 10, for example, for each aspect of writing. So that's why you have to put in your mind that when you conduct such a scoring or evaluation process, you need such a scoring rubric or key answers, right? What do you think if a teacher conduct a task that it will take a student a couple minutes to complete, okay, and then take the teacher several hours to score or evaluate it? Well, of course, the answer is it is not practical in terms of scoring or evaluation. We have done with the first principle in developing language assessment, which is about practicality, yeah, you have to consider 4 aspects. The first one is the cost, and then the time. The third one is administration, and the last one is scoring or evaluation. Now we move on to the second principle in developing a good test, right? It is about validity. Well, what is validity, miss? Validity of a test is the extent to which it exactly measures what is supposed to measure, right? Well, I will give you illustration later on, yeah? So, a test must aim to provide a true measure of the particular skill, which is intended to measure not to the extent that it measures external knowledge or other skills at the same time. So you have to focus on the things that are supposed to measure. For example, if a student, yeah, is given a reading test, put in your mind, a reading test about metamorphosis of a butterfly, right? A valid test will measure the reading ability, okay, such as identifying general or specific information of the text, or finding out such details or cause and effect in terms of the text itself, but not his or her prior knowledge about biology, yeah? Especially about the metamorphosis of the butterfly. So the test should make the students realize on his or her reading ability to complete the test. So your test can be called valid, yeah? So you will measure what is supposed to measure. It is called validity. And then, according to Brown, yeah, he proposed 5 ways to establish the validity. They are, first, content validity, and then criterion validity, construct validity, consequential validity, and the last one is phase validity. Let's discuss it one by one. So, the first validity is content validity. Well, the correlation between the content of the test and the language skill, structure, etc., with which it is meant to be measured has to be crystal clear. Yeah? The test item should really represent the course objective. For example, you have a listening test. Yeah? The listening test requires students to read passage to complete instead of requiring students to listening attentively. Well, don't you think it is not matching between the task and also the objective of the class or the subject? Since you take a listening test, of course you have to listen, right? To listen the question and then you try to answer it. Not you have the listening test but you read the question. So that's why it is not content validity. Yeah, content validity, again, it is related to the skill or the structure of the task, yeah, must be measured with the course objective. So they must match each other. That's content validity. And then the second one is criterion validity. Okay, this is the kind of validity emphasizes on the relationship between the test score and also the outcome. So the test score should really represent the criterion that is intended to measure in the test. Okay, in the criterion validity, it can be established through 2 ways. The first one is concurrent validity, and the second one is predictive validity. So what is the difference between concurrent validity and also predictive validity? Well, if we talk about concurrent validity, a test is said to have concurrent validity if its result is supported by other concurrent performance beyond the assessment itself. Okay, what is the example, Ms. Moti? For example, the validity of a high score in the final exam of a foreign language course, for example, will be verified or will be supported or will be confirmed by the actual performance or actual proficiency of your language. So it is called as concurrent validity. So the result of the task must be supported by other concurrent performance, right? And then the second one is predictive validity. It's different. When we talk about predictive validity, it tends to assess and predict a student's possible future success. For example, TOEFL, IELTS tests. They are intended to know how well someone will perform the capability of his or her English in the future. That's the example of predictive validity.
Terima kasih sudah menyaksikan video pembelajaran ini. Jangan lupa like, komen dan subscribe, serta nyalakan tanda loncengnya agar kalian tidak ketinggalan informasi update lainnya.